Hey, what's up, CFAM? Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to do a review on a couple of brushes that I bought from Shop Miss A, and I am shook. Like, I'm seriously shook. And I'll put a link down below so you can see. I've been meaning to film this video for a good while, for maybe like a good week or so, but there was a lot of cleaning that we need to do in the place, and also my son got sick. If you want to see how I got this look, which is my go-to almost all the time, my go-to look, then just keep watching. So I'm gonna go and put the Neutrogena Hydro Boost on my face. Make sure your hands are clean, baby, clean. And if you see my face, my lips glistening, it's probably because, why did I do that? It's probably because I put Vaseline on my lips because, you know, it's winter at the very moment and it is super cold outside, therefore making my lips super dry. I'm gonna pull my hair back first. That strand does not want to cooperate. I go a little crazy on prepping the skin just because, I mean, I'm dry, so I don't want to get all flaky and yucky throughout the day. And this is just my personal preference, so everybody's different. So you do you, boo-boo. This is the Maybelline Master Prime. And it's the Blur and Smooth. It says 100. It reminds me of when Kyle and I say, oh my gosh, that went from 0 to 100 right quick, when we're just joking around with each other and we're grilling and roasting each other because we think we're funny. I'm going to spray myself with Fix Plus. Yeah, some of it went in my mouth. And then I'm going to take another primer, and which is the e.l.f. Hydrating Primer. And like I said, I am dry, so I want to make sure that I am not drying out throughout the day, because when you go outside, it's on a whole nother level. Then I'm just gonna go in here with a pore filler. Just because I have spots there that need to be filled. I'm going to be using a couple of brushes that I got from Shop Miss A. I'm going to take this NYX Color Concealer. They're cream concealers, and then I'm going to take this AOA Studio F16 brush. It's small enough for me to go in the places that I want. Not that I have to have any precision in doing this, but I'm super red here. This is my problem area, and it's mostly because I like to eat spicy foods, and this is where it pops out. This is probably my problematic area when it comes to acne, so I like to focus in on that part. Same brush and different color concealer just to cover up these hyperpigmentation spots here that I have underneath my nose. I don't like these popping out, but of course your skin is your skin, and that's why it's best to make sure you take care of your skin. This Cover Effects concealer, it's in the shade medium to deep. It's like my skin color, and I like to cover that up here just to cover the color concealer. Next, I would usually do my eyebrows, and I'm going to do that real quick off the camera. Now that my eyebrows are on, I just want to show you a couple of things that I used. I used this little spoolie thing here, and I mean, I use it for eyebrows or eyeliner, whatever you prefer, but it's a lot smaller as you can see, and that one's from Shop Miss A. I interchanged between this brush, which is the AOA Studio E116, and it's just like that. I mean, obviously it's covered in eyeliner or pomade, but I like how it feels when you put it on. It glides so nicely. And then I interchanged, of course, with the F16, the concealer brush that I used at the beginning, just to carve out my eyebrows. After that, I usually like going on to my eyes, and I may look pretty intense at the moment because of my brows. I'm using the matte soft ochre. Why did I sound like that? Soft ochre paint pot. Sorry if I looked a little hunched. My mirror is a little bit lower, that's why, than my cam. Although I can still see it on my camera. And to outline my brows, it's either the NYX HD concealer or the Maybelline concealer in the shade, I want to say 10. And then I like to go in and just kind of pat it, because the warmth of your finger really helps to let it go and mix in all together. I bought this off of Shop Miss A as well. It's an e.l.f. blending eye brush, so we're gonna see how that works out. Looks like this. I don't think it has, no, it just says e.l.f. blending eye brush, but I also got a new palette from a client. It says 35 color rose gold eyeshadow palette. If I can just open it. You can probably tell I swatched a couple of them, but these are probably most of my go-to colors. So for the whole eye, just to set it, I usually like to get something that's closer to my shade. It's obviously not doing justice on the camera. It looks more yellow than it does in person, but something that's matte. And I like putting it on with the brush that I'm going to use for my crease. Now these aren't the brushes that I would usually use to set that soft ochre, so everything just blends and glides nicely when you're doing so. The blending brush that I usually use is a lot bigger than this. It's a lot fluffier and it fans out just a tad bit more. But we'll see how this one works. Now for the crease, I usually put two or three shades of crease colors. So I'd go with like another lighter brown. This looks pink on camera, but it's brown, I promise you. So I'm gonna put that in my crease. Something that I usually go towards are like mauve-y red colors in the outer corner, and then something gold in the inner corner, just because those are two of my favorite colors. And as you can probably sort of tell, is that when you put that lighter shade on the crease, it helps give it a little bit more. Now I'll go in with another darker kind of brown and go in the crease with that one as well. And then again, of course, we're gonna go in with a darker kind of brown, which I'm gonna go in with this one right here. And that one. I'm gonna focus more towards the outer edge because I want it to look a little bit smoked out, and I like that more so on the outer corner only as opposed to all the way down the crease. So as you can tell, it's already looking like it's a tad bit smoked out on the corners. Just want to make sure that I got it in the form that I like to do. I kind of just like giving it like that corner, and then if it looks harsh at the end, then I'll blend it out. But after that, I usually take a flat shader brush. This is the E123. I like the feel of these brushes. They're really soft, like, oh. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with, oh, I mean, there's not much of a mauve color in here. However, the closest one is probably this one. And then I'm gonna probably mix it in with this one just to get a little bit more of a dimension. But I don't wanna take the color away from that first one. And I'm just going to focus that underneath the crease and in the outer corner of the eye. Taking it all the way down to the lash line, but just doing it enough to hit at least just a little bit less than half. When I blend out the rest of it, I take a light brown color that I used in the crease, one of the crease colors, probably like I think the first crease color, just so that I could take it and blend out this corner, because you don't want any harsh lines, but I do want to blend out the fact that it kind of goes out into that outer V that I was making at the beginning. And if you think that you took away some of the color on the lid, then you can always go back and press that in again. And if you went too far into the middle part of your eye, you can always take the concealer and go back in. Like this left eye of mine, I feel like the outer corner I took away from the outer corner by blending it. You can always just go back in and pack it some more. And then after that, I'll take a concealer brush. I'll take the Maybelline concealer or the NYX HD. This is the NYX HD. However, I think I'm running out because I use this so much. And I love that one. And then just kind of go in the inside. Just on your lid. You don't want to take it too high up, but again, I want to make sure that I got my, like the top part. I have a monolid, but I also have like almond shaped eyes, so I just want to take that and make sure I get it. Maybe like to the middle. I mean, it's different almost all the time because you're not gonna always get it in the exact precise spot that you want. And again, I'm just gonna go in with my finger just to blot that out a little bit with a warmer finger. And then we're gonna go in and then probably take this rose goldy color and then, oops, and pat that in. underneath the crease. If you take the shimmer and go too far out on the corners, like you took away too much from the corners, you can always go back again with that brush that you used for that mauve color, if that's the color that you're gonna go into, and then you can always just blend it in together. I'm gonna blend that top because I got a little bit of concealer in there, and I want that color to still stay when I open my eyes. I'm gonna do my eyeliner real quick off cam because I will do another video on eyeliner if you guys would like. Now that my eyeliner is done, we'll go forward, but I just wanted to tell you guys that I use the E06 and it's a Sigma E06. I saw Roxette Arisa use it in her videos, and she like swears by the Sigma E06 for the liners and for like beginners who may have trouble using liner and need a brush to use. That is her go-to, and now that is my go-to. So thank you, Roxette Arisa, for that recommendation, because that is like my favorite on clients, on myself. It makes life so much easier when it comes to gel liner. So let's go on, and I'm just going to curl my lovely lashes. We're gonna be using these Luella lashes from Shop Miss A. So for some of you guys who may or may not know, I am obviously married. It says Mrs. since 2016. My husband bought me the shirt on our first year wedding anniversary, and this is from Everyline Design. I'll put a link down below. Take a look at their website because they have a lot of great stuff there. And just for the purpose of using these again to see how it feels on the eyelashes instead of on my brows. And it does take a whole lot from the mascara, but let's take a look. I think I like this better for lashes because it's more precise. You don't have to struggle with a bigger wand. So I like these. Okay, and let's be real, for $1, well, converted from US to Canadian, like $1.50. Holy guacamole, and there's like 10 in the pack. The brushes that I used today from Shop Miss A are like, it's ridiculous. Every piece is $1. Like I said, the conversion, it's like $1 something. And how could you go wrong? And they're so good. Like, especially if you just want a set for yourself, just buy a set of AM or PM brushes, or better yet, the 24 set. I put glue on my lash, but I usually use the green one. I don't cut mine for these Luella lashes because then they're like, they fit on my eyes because my eyes are a lot wider. They fit on my eyes so good, and I love it. Okay, so now that my lashes are on, that's when I go through the rest of my face and then go back to my eyes after. So for the face, we are going to use the Maybelline Hydrate and Smooth in the shade 230. I'm going to just dab it all over my face first so that I know that I'm getting it enough in the places and not totally overwhelming my face. And this comes out like a river when you take it out, not like the other one, the matte and poreless one. Okay, and then again, going in with that concealer, take it down all the way down there. I like usually taking it past my eye here, and then down the middle of my nose, on my forehead, and on my chin, and just 2 little lines on the side there, and then we're done. Just kidding. I like cream contour. I don't know, there's something about it that makes me feel very, I don't know, I just love it. And then I go in again later on with a powdered contour, but man, I love cream contour. I don't contour my nose, however. Although I have like some small itty bitty, I don't know, I've had this like flat, small itty bitty nose for a long time. I mean, for a long time, since I was born, like what? Blend that into your hairline so that it doesn't look like your contour just popped out of nowhere. So that gave at least a little bit of dimension to my face. I mixed in Maybelline powder with the baby powder, that's what it's called. And I saw this trick from a couple of YouTubers that were like, man, this baby powder works. But I've never tried it with the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I've always used it with the MAC Prep and Prime. Obviously, I can't talk today. MAC Prep and Prime powder, which works wonders. It also works good with the e.l.f. powder, but I've never tried it with this one, so let's see how it works, because we're gonna bake some cookies. I saw one of my friends use this, the Maybelline Fit Me one. I wanted to try it out because, I mean, I don't want to just stick to my staple. I want to be able to go out and try different things. So like the MAC one is my staple, because ever since it came into my life, it was just love at first sight. And then my baby hairs like to peep through. I used to bake on the tip of my nose just to give it that extra dimension or highlight or whatever, but I just dab whatever's left on the wedge. I just dab it onto my skin. I don't bake completely onto the nose and underneath my nose anymore, because it was just drying me out completely, and I don't want to be dried out. And every time I bake cookies, I make a mess with the flour. I'm watching Grey's Anatomy while I wait for my face to bake. Okay, so before we brush off the baking, I'm gonna use this MAC contour powder, and I'm gonna take it and I'm going to go in like a circular motion. after that, oh, I went in with the F13 from the Shop Miss. After that, I'm going to go in with blush right after I take off the bakage. Now, you kind of want to not press like super firm, but at the same time just kind of wisp it away. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with this blush with that same brush that I used to wipe off the bakage. And I kind of just like putting it right into my contour just because I don't want it to look like 3 shades of ice cream when you know when you open the bucket and you have Napoleon. Is it Napoleon? I forgot the ice cream because I used to eat that when I was a kid. But I would only grab like the chocolate and the vanilla. I hated the strawberry, which is funny because I like strawberries. So I do that to both sides, of course. But to go back into the contour, the powdered contour, and just give my forehead a little bit more sun, like I've been in the sun a little bit. And then just a little bit down there, just right where the jawline is. And see, this is one thing that I've seen from YouTubers that I've never tried. Now, this is something I never did. I always applied it with a brush. So they take their highlight and they use their damp beauty blender and they like swipe it to grab it like that, and then they apply it to where their cheekbone is, because it makes it look like it just totally blended itself in to your blush and contour, as opposed to just taking it with a brush, because when you take it with a brush, sometimes it just looks like one little swipe there, and at the same time you're just going to blend it. I like usually taking my beauty blender after. When I did the brush, I usually take my beauty blender and I blend all 3 of those together so that I don't look like I just had ice cream on my face, and then have it all kind of mix in together. That looks nice. I like that, how they use the sponge. That's like the very first time that I saw it. And this is the Butter highlight in the shade Champagne, and then my Cupid's bow, and then just above my eyebrows there. And I'll take a brush this time and I'll go into the inner corners of my eyes and that bottom part. I love putting it at the bottom part only because you could see it pop a lot more. And then after putting that, the crease brush that I used earlier, I don't use the crease brush that I use that's bigger and fluffier, but since this one's a lot smaller than the ones that I usually take the same one that I use, but for the outer corners of my eyes. But because this one is a lot more condensed, I'll take that and go back in with that mauve shade color and that brown, and then we're just gonna go and brush on the bottom of your eye. We're gonna go in with that mascara wand, and we're just going to put mascara on the bottom lash. And sometimes, if my highlight ain't popping enough, I'll take, we'll try the sponge method again with this one, but this time I'll use like the corner, not the corner, the edge of the wedge, and I just want to go in with the Becca Champagne Pop and go over a little bit up to my temples. To give it that little extra oomph. And at the same time, we're going to, so like I said, I put Vaseline on my lips earlier. That way it's not like dry and cracky, because when they're like super extra dry, then you can see your lipstick crack too. What I like to do is I take, this is Spiced Rose from Laura Mercier. I'll start at the Cupid's bow and then swipe down, and then at the other Cupid's bow. My Cupid's bow, like, it has like those points at the top, and so it makes it a lot easier. Some people are rounded, everybody's different. And then from the Cupid's bow at the top here, you know how your lipstick's like shaped like that? Then you just take it and then you swipe down, and you also take the other side and swipe down to make it a lot easier. A lot of people like using lip liner, and to get like the different dimensions for a lip liner, like the different shades, it looks really, really nice. But for me, something for every day, I kind of just put on a nude lip. And this is my favorite. As you can tell, it's like at the bare end already. But there's occasional days where I'll use a nude lip liner. And the thing I like with this is because it's a cream fondant lipstick. Make sure there's no lipstick on my teeth. It kind of like shimmers on its own. I would usually go on top with a clear or a nude gloss. However, I ran out of mine. I use this NYX Dewy Finish. I mean, it keeps it pretty dewy, or like the Dewy Finish pretty much for the meantime. But at the same time, I also go in with a Fix Plus. And if that's not obviously enough, then we'll go in with the Urban Decay. This is one of my favorites, all-nighter setting spray. So this is the final look. I put my hair in a pony. See y'all in the next video. And don't forget, always remember, let the light of life shine in you. Bye!